Hello, hola, and welcome to our first travel tips and hacks video. This time, we're focusing on 15 things to help with your pre-trip prep and planning.
Do this before your trip to save time, money, and stress. So the first one, make a packing list. We recommend using a spreadsheet you can use over and over.
My packing process can be a little bit chaotic. And so having this list has helped me or prevented me from forgetting things, or has helped me just get started because sometimes it's a little overwhelming. So this really is a huge lifesaver, this one. So this packing list should have kind of everything on it, like how many pairs of underwear you need depending on how long your trip is, how many pairs of pants, are you taking flip-flops, are you bringing a bathing suit, what about a towel, and even things that, you might need on the plane, like an eye mask, earplugs, your phone charger, everything, so you don't forget it.
So don't jump around. Go item by item.
Or at the very least, go back and check it all again if you have jumped around. Speaking from experience.
Let's go to the second one. Create a spreadsheet.
Yes, another spreadsheet.
What's that? Spreadsheet? What? What did you say, spreadsheet?
He has converted me into a spreadsheet girly. Never was before, and now they're essential. And this one is for?
This one is for your travel data. It's all your hotels, your flights, your reservations, everything that has a time and an hour is going to be in this travel data spreadsheet. Really handy for so many reasons. If you need to fill out a form with your hotel address, or to remember what time your bus leaves, or to share with your family back at home.
Number 3, research how you'll get from the airport to your hotel. Will you take a taxi? Will you take an Uber? Or maybe another ride-sharing app, depending on where you are? Or maybe public transit makes sense. Number 4, check if the taxis are trustworthy where you're going. Some places, like in Prague, for example, I never took a taxi because they were notorious for scamming tourists. But on the other hand, in Buenos Aires, a taxi, if you just pick one up on the street, you should be fine. From the airport, a little bit of a different story, but this is why you should research it.
Number 5, if you don't want taxis and you want to take the public transit, and sometimes it's faster if the city has bad traffic, check how it works and if you need coins and how is the system of that city, because sometimes give you a ton of problems when you are in that situation. So preparing for that situation is better for you and better for your time. Also, public transit is often less expensive.
Number 6, research where to exchange money. Almost always, the airport has terrible rates, and it's usually better to wait until you get into the city center. However, this isn't true 100% of the time. For example, in Bangkok, through all of our research before our trip, we found that one of the best places to exchange is actually a kind of hidden exchange place at the airport. And we'll put the name in the description so you can use it too. And it actually has some of the best rates, even better than in the city from what we heard anyways. We used this twice, or I think we used one place or two places that were next to each other basically. And the rates were fine, they were good. Definitely would recommend doing that, especially somewhere like Thailand where cash is still king. Number 7, this one is for US-based travelers. Get yourself a credit card that doesn't charge foreign transaction fees. There are lots of options nowadays, one of which could be like the Chase Sapphire Preferred, or maybe the Capital One Venture X. Those are 2 that I have, but huge cost saver. If you have the opportunity to do it, definitely get one.
Number 8, bring a backup credit card. You never know when your bank will detect fraud in your main credit card, so always you need to have a second pack, and that's the backup credit card.
This actually just happened to us right before we left for Norway. Like, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 days beforehand. I got a notification from my bank saying, oh, we found fraud, we've canceled your card, a new one's in the mail, but it wasn't going to arrive before we left. So thankfully, I had a second credit card and we could use that one instead.
Number 9, bring some cash. Yes, bring some cash. I'm sure that people think that money is old school, but a ton of countries in the world right now still they use cash but you never know when your debit card might decide to stop working, or maybe you can find a working ATM. So it's always good to have some cash with you. So the question is, how much money do you need for the travel? Lele?
Well, it depends on where you're going. If you're going somewhere like Norway, where they pretty much don't use cash anymore, I wouldn't bring a ton, just bring some for emergencies. But on the other hand, if you're going somewhere like Thailand, like we've already mentioned, or Bolivia, where cash is still really key, I would bring more, for sure. And obviously exactly how much depends on how long your trip is and how much you plan to spend. Are you gonna buy a lot of souvenirs? Are you on a super budget? That's kind of up to you.
Number 10. If you're bringing cash to exchange, it's better always to have bigger bills in good conditions.
Like no pen marks, no corners missing, they haven't been folded in a million times, things like that.
To get the best rates, especially for example here in Argentina.
We've seen it happen more than once where if you have a bill with a little mark on it, they're gonna give you less for that one if they even accept it. And you don't wanna bring an old one that's, I don't know, from like the 70s, for example, versus the newer bills from the 2000s is better here in particular.
But also bring some small bits for tips that you can use in your excursions or in restaurants.
Number 11, download your airline's app. I've seen this happen a couple times now where the app updates more quickly than the screens in the airport telling you your flight's delayed or the gate's changed or something like that. It also often has like bag tracking, especially bigger US-based airlines anyways, like Delta or American. So if you haven't invested in AirTags yet, which you should, you can track your bag that way. And then also sometimes online check-in works better in the app than on like a desktop or laptop computer. This is true usually, although not always, with Gol. For example, in Brazil, I've had it happen many times where I can't check in using my computer, but the app works. Or sometimes it's the other way around. You never know. Number 12, speaking of online check-in, this is for one thing, my favorite thing to do. But sometimes it saves you time at the airport. We definitely found where if you've already checked in online, sometimes you can go to a special bag drop only, and then everybody else who hasn't checked in is stuck in a long line. Also, if you check in right when the check-in opens for your flight, you're probably gonna have many more options to pick from for your seat if you don't already have an assigned seat. I know some people say it's a hack to wait to the very last minute to try to, get a better seat because all the regular economy has filled in, but I don't know. For me, that makes me too nervous. And then also we're usually trying to sit together, so it doesn't make much sense for us, but let us know in the comments if it's ever worked for you.
Number 13. Research if an eSIM using your regular phone plan with roaming or using a physical SIM from the country that you are traveling makes the most sense for your destination. Personally, I have been going the eSIM route the last couple of years, even if it is slightly more expensive than a physical local SIM card because the convenience outweighs the savings for me. Number 14. This one is one that I really like, that is download offline Google Maps. It's really important to have a map always, and we have phones, we have Google Maps, but it's important more than that you have that map when you need it, and that is an offline map for each city you're visiting, just in case your data isn't working or you run out. And finally, the last one, number 15. Save restaurant ideas to make it easier to pick somewhere when you are hungry. Especially helpful if you have a dietary restriction, for example. It's also handy to mark key places like your hotel, the best place to exchange money, or even a specific shop you want to visit. Also, if you are a little bit nerdy, you can add customized icons. For example, these ones, that is like a hotel, a restaurant,
Coffee,
noodles, a cocktail bar,
a place to exchange money.
or wherever you want.
So those are 15 of our pre-travel hacks/tips. Do you have any that we've missed?
Let us know in the comments and subscribe for more travel tips and to join us in our adventures around the world. Bye!
See you next time.
See you next time. See you. Bye.
This one is based. Bleh.
Join us on our adventures around the world.